The first thing I want to get out of the way is because I know multiple people even, are going to comment it. Everybody or everything that I have talked about today has already been reported to the proper authorities. People always like to jump to sue or press charges. I am doing so. Not the sue, because I can't afford a lawyer, and also I don't know how well the lawsuit would actually go over. But I have submitted everybody's information to the proper authorities so that they may investigate this further. I'm still waiting on word from the detective on what the next steps are going to be, but at this point, I am tired. I am exhausted. What you're going to see today in today's video is a long list of lies, defamation, pathological liars, and more. I'm going to showcase how everyone who has ever thrown out allegations against me is not only lying, falsifying evidence, and just straight up wrong, but also how they have put my family in danger, my friends in danger. As of recording this video, the doxing situation from Horror Tomie has led to a particular Twitter account who will not be named and who I will not be advertising, posting the information of my friends, my family, including my 70-year-old grandmother, their full names out and about, with the excuse that it was a public Facebook profile, one that nobody should have had access to because no one should have known what it was. But now people do know what it is because Tomie himself pushed it out there. Tomie himself posted my identity to the world to see, posted my real name with my real Facebook profile, and allowed people to go in and find the real names of people, including my own mother, who has already received harassment. The people in this video are dangerous individuals. You can even see how Tomie and another person that I'm going to be talking about a little bit later on in this video condone this behavior of posting my personal private information and the personal private information of tons of people who are both attached to my old Facebook account, the one that I had when I was like 18, and the new one that I recently deleted in a vain attempt to make sure that no one could gather any more information. And yet in the short span since Tomie had posted that post and me deleting my Facebook, they already did. Real life people are now in danger because of Horror Tomie. Real life people are being harassed because of a petty internet squabble over the lies and falsities of someone. Today's video will recap the harassment and defamation I have faced over the past several months, and I will be going into depth on several people within this harassment who are responsible for perpetuating these lies, namely two players. Jason, someone who has changed their name on YouTube, and I can no longer find the old YouTube account, but thankfully I grabbed all the videos and screenshots before they locked that YouTube down, and Horror Tomie, the person responsible for spearheading this entire process. I won't be going into depth on a lot of what happened as much because I've already made several videos, 4 of them in fact, on the situation, and they will all be linked down below. The very last thing that I want to make clear is that no one in this video should be harassed. They should not be gone after, they should not be attacked, and you should avoid having conversations with them. Because as is shown by members of my community, these people are actually fucking delusional. They do not care about the truth, they do not care about evidence, they only care about trying to hurt me, and if they have to go through my family to do it, they will do so. So do not interact with them. Do not engage with them. Do not give them any more attention than this video does. Simply keep in mind who they are and remove them from your communities, from your friendship circles, and shun them to the farthest corners of the internet where they belong. Do not allow any of them to lie to you. Do not allow any of them to try to perpetuate false allegations against me. Do not allow any of them to twist narratives and twist the truth of what was really happening in order to try and get under your skin. This will be my final video addressing any of them. From this point moving forward, I will not be answering any more questions regarding the situation. This video will serve as proof enough that the people involved are lunatics and liars. Thank you. Somewhere between May 26th and May 27th, someone would join my Discord and community by the name of Blair. Blair had no bio and immediately jumped into joking, laughing, and having a good time with people both in the Discord and Twitch chat. I paid it little mind, as it's normal for people who first join the community to do such a thing. On May 28th, Blair would post a screenshot of someone being salty in the in-game chat in Dead by Daylight, and in response, my mod, Fluffle Bunny, would tell them to please not do that, as it made them highly uncomfortable. Blair's response was to immediately turn hostile, to which my mod muted them, not banned, and the immediate reaction from Blair was to then message several members of the community, including the mod who muted her, and myself, declaring my server a misogynist incel server that boasted slurs. Here is the message she sent to me. You'll notice the edit at the bottom where she mentions deleted dick pics and a response that's going to bite me in the back. This means this message was heavily edited after the first response video I made to Blair's allegations. This is important because at first Blair made no mentions of nudes anywhere in the server or her being underage anywhere, not until she felt it could benefit her. I, upon seeing the original message, immediately banned her, knowing this was not the kind of person who needed to be in my server and community, so I promptly banned her. When next I'd hear from Blair, they would harass me across multiple social medias, including YouTube, Twitch Whispers, and Instagram. I would block all of these messages without reading them and move about my day. I merely wanted to get on with my life. Before I move any further to tell you exactly what happened next, here is a vocal testimony from the mod who was involved in this entire thing and everything that they said happened from their perspective.
Hello, my name is Fluffle Bunny. I am the mod from Kaiser server that banned Blair because she was being rude and condescending, and she shouldn't have been there in the first place. I'm making this because I just want to say a few things, and I'm gonna have to make multiple because Discord is like, you can only view a certain amount, so this is just my introduction. One of the things that Blair said, okay, because she got banned from the server for once again doing those things, and just by being in the server she broke the rules, and as a mod I have to remove her, okay? One of the things that she was saying was that I was a creepy dude. By that she means male. First of all, I use they them pronouns, and I am very clearly AFAB. Before I stepped in, she had bullied multiple other server members that became uncomfortable with her presence because of how she was speaking to them. I stepped in because of this, and because of the fact that I was tagged. She didn't appreciate that I was calling her out and tried to turn it around on me. And then when that didn't work, and she got banned, after I timed her out at first, thinking maybe she's not having a good day, she just needs a little bit of a timeout so she can calm down and realize she's being kind of silly. That was not the case though. She decided to go on and start harassing anybody that she could, calling me a misogynist, once again misgendering me when she didn't even know what I looked like, and all these other accusations. I still have a screenshot, I'm pretty sure, of the things that she sent to me personally, and none of it is true. She has no evidence for it, just like she has no evidence for anything that was in the doc that was to expose Kaiser. I know for a fact, if it weren't for the fact that I don't really have social media because I am extremely socially awkward and anxious, I would also be in the middle of some kind of drama like this and harassment. I'm glad that I'm not. I'm very glad that I don't have the social media to be harassed on. But the fact of the matter is, this shouldn't be happening to begin with, because this is all over the fact that someone who shouldn't have even been in the server to begin with got banned, which was within the guidelines for being in the server. If you are not 18, you should not be there. This has spiraled completely out of control, and I hope that my testimony is at least a little bit of something to help people realize how ridiculous this whole thing is. And going and doxing Kaiser, seriously, that's all I have to say, really. You're gonna stoop that low because you disagreed, got called out for lying, and you just can't let that go. You can't just take the L when you are clearly in the wrong. As a victim of being doxed, being groomed, sexual assault, I genuinely hope that both Blair and Tomie have some kind of help find them, because this is awful, this is disgusting, and I am so tired. I'm tired of it. I genuinely disgusted. Get help, both of you.
A turning point would come where Blair would go to Aaron Duke's server and publicly tell me that I had nudes in my server and she was a fragile 16-year-old who saw them. I responded saying there are no nudes in my server, and if she was under 18, she shouldn't have been in there anyway. She would retaliate saying there is nothing on my Discord or Twitch about having to be 18. This is false, as all of my socials have been 18 plus since around late January, early February of 2023, where I did a mass kick and ban of every minor and declared my space as minor free. Afterwards, I did a short revamp to the server and asked the community what they wanted to see. One of the requests was a channel where people could post their lewds when they are feeling kind of hot or sexy. Lewds, not nudes. This is important as my server is and always has been a no nudes policy. I have deleted any nudes that have ever showed up in the channel immediately and promptly, as have my mods. I age restricted the channel as per Discord's terms of service, and you can see that plain as day in the original video I did. I mentioned this as several times throughout this video you will see Tomie and his gang of geeks consistently say the channel was unrestricted, but it was not. Now I want to show you how an age restricted channel works. When a channel is set to age restricted, you'll see a small triangle over the channel's hashtag, marking it as age restricted. To enter this channel, 2 criteria must be met. Number 1, your birthday within your Discord account must be set to 18 plus, and number 2, you have to click this big red button that says continue, and Discord at least has had the sense of mind to put it on the right side, ensuring the left to right readers will not just click as they please, and people have to actually think before they enter. The important things to remember is this: my original video is still up showing Blair to be a pathological liar, including the supposed unrestricted channel that's actually restricted, the fact that she lied about her age not once but twice when she ignored the rules of the Discord and when she ignored the age restricted channel, and if she had gotten into the channel, she also lied about her age to Discord when she signed up with her account. Worst comes to worst, she isn't actually 16 and lied about being a minor to further perpetrate these false allegations. She also lied about being a Patreon supporter when my Patreon has never had any supporters. So here is my Patreon. You'll notice something about it. You'll notice that it says that one guy Kaiser, and you might be thinking, huh, that's weird. Isn't your name Kaiser DeBard? Why, yes, viewer, it is. You know why it's named Kaiser DeBard? You know why it's named that? It's named that because I have not used this Patreon ever. This was back over 2 years ago that this Patreon was made, and it was never advertised. It was never advertised. It was never advertised, and it was never put out there, and no one, not a single person, has ever subscribed to this Patreon. No one. Paid members of all time, no one's ever subscribed to this Patreon. And to this day, well over 3 months later, has failed to provide even a single screenshot of nudes that supposedly existed within these servers. Screenshots that she continuously stood on and said that she has, and without ever providing any of them, people like Horror Tomie and another person I will name later, Jason, have continued to push the narrative that exists when it does not. Around 1 to 2 weeks after my video, a Google Doc from Horror Tomie would drop. The document would provide a false story from Blair with many lies, half-truths, and false narratives. Rereading the doc, you can see that my biggest crime in Tomie's eyes is being horny on main. Horny on my 18+ account, main Twitter. Throughout this document, Tomie would provide testimonies, including one that claimed I copyright struck someone's video. Tomie provided no evidence of such a thing, and I provided counter evidence showing all 4 of my YouTube channels, and not a single one with a single copyright claim on them. As I've stated in the past and will continue to do so in the future, I do not believe in copyright striking people who react to my videos. Should someone outright steal my video, then yeah, I probably will, but outside of that, no. I don't copyright claim people, as I feel the copyright system on YouTube and in general is merely a tool to harm creators and never protect them. Not only that, but I had never even seen a video on my allegations. I would also be accused of refreshing Twitter every few seconds and desperately searching my name, because how else would I have found the original tweet with the allegations except for, oh, I don't know, the fact that I was tagged in the fucking thing? There was another claim of someone saying I bullied them when they donated money to me and provided me with content every week. I eventually found this person, but we would get to that later. Despite the physical evidence I would show, Tomie would never respond to my video on his document, instead vague tweeting about me, reposting some art of a rabbit in a bikini before I would block him and state my response to the tweet to the doc that anyone who tried to accuse me again would be blocked immediately, and that was it, save for the occasional harassment that I would immediately block and move on with my life. I would be informed by a friend a short while after everything had died down that they were being harassed by someone who claimed the video evidence of my wrongdoing. Finally, I would have a name of the person who claimed the videos got copyright claimed. I watched all the videos and was going to make a video response on them, but my friend convinced me that it was senseless otherwise. There was no reason to draw more attention to the people who weren't getting it, and I agreed, content to let my anger fade and sleeping dogs lie. The last video was only 3 weeks old after all, and it felt like the situation had finally died down. Until mere days ago from you seeing this video, Tomie would upload a video that mentioned me. Now, I had, at this point, hidden Tomie's channel from being recommended to me, and were it not for a kind viewer and another friend of mine, I would have never seen it. The video now came with a new unsubstantiated claim. As you will find out throughout this video, they love to just throw more and more unsubstantiated claims at me. By the end of this, according to them, I will have been a animal fucker, a child groomer, someone who possesses child porn. I would be a creep. I would be a pervert. I would be a sexual harasser. I would be just whatever they feel like they can use to elicit an emotional response from the people watching. That is what they will throw out. By the end of this video, the claims, the unsubstantiated claims with zero evidence will pile through the fucking roof. No evidence behind that claim, Tomie would go on his now privated video to state that he would be handing my private information, which he should not have, to someone in America who could, quote, call and confirm why I was fired.
And now what this person alleged that Kaiser has done is basically got fired for sexual harassment in the workplace. And I am currently trying to find any fucking American who is willing to record themselves calling the restaurant and actually finding out if this is the case.
This is illegal on several levels, both the blatant doxing and expecting my former employers to divulge information regarding me leaving the company. I left because I quit, by the way. I was fed up with lazy coworkers. I made a video exposing Tomie for the threats of doxing, where Tomie would then make another now privated video stating that he had multiple people he was going to hand my information to, and he was more determined than ever to crack this story open. Now, unfortunately, I do not have that video available, as, like I said, he privated it, and I did not think to grab it before he did, and that is my fault. Essentially painting my genuine concern and anxiety for my personal information being handed to people who can use it to harm me, and as of making this video have already used it to harm me by posting publicly the full names of people like my 70-year-old granny and my mom and countless friends from high school, old works, and more. He would try to paint this as me trying to cover something up, which is just sad. This is something Tomie does a lot. Things that have simple explanations he will ignore in order to attach ulterior motives to quite obviously benign shit. Things like me deleting the Spicy Selfies channel a week after the allegations because we simply didn't need it anymore, and I felt it was time for a Discord revamp. He tried to paint as me hiding evidence when he actually got the chance to look in the damn thing by his own admission, where he would find, quote, suspiciously deleted messages, which were, surprise, surprise, nudes that had been instantly deleted because they broke server rules. Almost like I uphold my server rules or some shit. Tomie would provide no screenshots of his time in the channel, by the way, even though he had ample time to. But I'm getting ahead of myself. A few hours after the first video I posted, Tomie would go on to post my personal Facebook page to his Twitter for everyone to see, fully doxing me and putting me, my mother, and my animals in serious danger. I would make a second video showcasing the insanity, with Tomie eventually deleting his tweets and attempting to post a screenshot proving I sexually harassed someone, but it's nothing more than a Twitter message with the name of someone who doesn't even work at my old restaurant. I do want to mention as well something that I forgot to add to the script, is that since then, Tomie has declared that within the week, he will be posting proof either for or against, which I do not trust anything that Tomie goes on to post, because as we will find out later on in this video, Tomie is a pathological and chronic liar, and I am going to guess that he will go out of his way and do anything he can to try to relieve any amount of pressure from him, as since I have revealed him to be this dangerous doxer that he is, Tomie has lost significant amount of following. A huge portion of people who supported him are now leaving him en masse, and he is currently panicking as the career that he has begun to build is slowly fading into the darkness. This message that he posted was nothing more than a Twitter message of the name of someone who doesn't even work at my old restaurant, basically being complete bullshit on Tomie's part. Now, while writing this script, Tomie's foolishness led to my disabled mother getting harassed. I would also like to add that since I have posted this screenshot to Twitter, people have accused me of trying to ruin Blair, the original accuser. I want to make it clear that I do not believe that the person in this screenshot is the same Blair who originally put forth the allegations, and I have never stated that it was. This is simply the name of the person who harassed my mother. This is a screenshot directly from my mother's messenger app that I have seen. I have the full name of this person and the state at which they live, and I have already submitted this information to the police. I do not believe, and nor do I think anyone should believe, that this is the same person who levied the original allegations. Just because people have a similar or the exact same name does not mean that they are the same person, and something that I've come to learn over the past several months, I guess, is that there's a lot of fucking people named Blair. Like, an incredibly amount of people. So no, I don't believe this is the same Blair, and I really wish people would stop pretending like I'm acting like that when I've never said or even implied that it was the same Blair. All because Tomie could not simply delete my private information. Now it is in the hands of people who wish me and my family harm, and if harm should come to us, it will be his fault. And now, here we are. I am making a fully organized video so that in the future, should more of these people rear their heads to spout this vile shit about me, I can prove once and for all that they are liars. Liars with grudges against me in one form or another. It's sad, to say the least, but it has to be done, as this is the last time I will ever speak on this. It's the definitive video. The one that shows that allegations levied against me are little more than nonsense and all malicious intent with bad faith arguments and complete and utter bullshit. Before we get into the big players in this tale, let's take a quick glance at two smaller people. One is this lad named Booper Looper, who sent a message to Tomie and his I Hate Kaiser group chat on how he had sent me a friend request, but I had denied it, to which the obvious conclusion is that I don't like talking to people over 18, instead of, I don't know, maybe I don't accept friend requests from people I don't fucking know. The /J in the statement appears to be edited, which would imply that he is joking. So either he made the original statement in malice and then decided to cover his ass, he would put the /J in there, or he thinks calling people a pedophile for not accepting the friend request of a complete fucking stranger is funny. It seems to me, though, had I accepted his friend request, he would have came at me in bad faith, as evidenced by the lack of Occam's razor in the reasoning, and a conversation would have been completely meaningless. Next up, we have Jester, an interesting case. Jester says several false statements throughout both his comment on Jason's video and the responses he would give to Tomie in the Google Doc. One major thing he would claim is he gave me content every week, but I could only find submissions from him in roughly 8 Rate My DVD submissions, with his last one being featured in Rate My Day by Daylight number 18. Granted, I could have missed 1 or 2, but it certainly was not every week. Over the course of several long hours of research, I would come to find out how much of a liar Jester is. I only ever insulted his Rate My DVD clips 1 time, despite his claims that I was just a bully. Every other time I would compliment him, especially his gesture tech videos. Onryo's lunch, my favorite Toba spot for Billy. Alright, let's check it out. The Jester tech! Oh my god. Wait, is this Jester? It is Jester. Annoyed Jest says, don't bag at the exit gates, which is something I feel in my soul. Ah! Oh! So, first off, I just want to appreciate this build here. We have Monstrous Shrine, Pain Resonance, pre-nerf Pain Resonance, by the way, Pain Resonance, Gift of Pain, and Floods of Rage. I really appreciate that. But let's also appreciate the fact that the Jane is literally at the exit gate, so she has the opportunity to fall out of it, but because she's facing to the side, that's what causes her to fall forward. She's running this way. That's what causes her to fall this way, so she doesn't fall out the exit gates. And then her bleed out timer was at 0.1, so the second she hits the ground, she instantly dies from bleed out. And, hold up. One, two. So, she's not on death hook, but she knows her timer is running out. You have to know your timer's almost out. You're injured. There's a huntress right there. You can just walk out the gates, but you opt to stay there. This is karma at its finest. This is an 11 out of 10. This is every dumb decision this Jane made for the match culminated into a perfect karma letdown, bro. All right. Onryo's lunch. Jester tech full. I don't know what the Jester tech is. Oh, wait. Is that supposed to be like a play on you? Because your name is Ryan Jester? Okay. Let's check it out. It's a hillbilly clip. Resort fanboy. I've heard that name before. Yo! I mean, yeah, she was AFK, but still, dude, fucking nice.
Welcome, friends and foes.
Shut up, Pixel Bush! Anthony Jest, which actually, I think this is one of my channel members. I'm not sure, though. Was trying to basement Bubba, but the opportunity presented itself. I should ban you for basement Bubba, honestly. All right, let's see it. That's so fun. What? 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 trash! Hello? Alright. I give that a what out of 10. Alright. Anthony, go home, Dead by Daylight, you're drunk. God, I wish I was drunk. Light, he got blinded and just stood there. Okay. What? Wait, what the fuck? Hold up, what? They're not even on the right side. Wait, the pallet was in the middle of the shack. Wait a fucking minute, hold up. Pallet's in the middle of the shack. The lockers are clipping through the wall on the wrong side of shack. Wait, then the boards are right there. I see what happened. No, I see what happened. Chat, do you see it? If you don't, let me tell you what happened. So this shack spawned, and then it tried to spawn another shack and rotated it. So all of the assets that spawn inside the second shack got rotated. So there's two shacks here. I'm going to give that a Home Depot sale out of 10. Onryo's Lunch says, Wipeout Bubba Edition. You are a Bubba Edition. Give me pixels! Okay. There's no way you don't retake the window. Yeah, after we're done with Rate My DVD. Okay, chat. What is the lesson here? Anybody want to know what the lesson is here? Is there anything the survivor can do at this point in time to stop this entire thing from happening? The answer is, drop the goddamn pallet. This happened, this entire thing happened because this Ada was like, this Ada, her entire fucking time playing this game has been like, you can't drop shack pallet before there's 2 gens left. You can't drop shack pallet before there's 2 gens left. Well, you can't do it. If you drop shack pallet too early, then it's a waste of a pallet. And we just can't have that. We can't have that. They've heard this shit. This is why I hate the mentality of oh, I'm wasting pallets. Let me tell you something. The only way you can waste pallets is if you're not taking an injury before you start dropping a shitload of pallets. Like, if you're pre-dropping every pallet you come across without any foreplanning or thought, then sure. But I don't give a fuck if it's Shack pallet. I don't give a fuck if it's a trash pallet. If you are against a Bubba coming at you with a fucking chainsaw, you drop the fucking pallet. That was all Otta's fault out of 10. All right, Jester, Kaiser's weekly aneurysm. Why do you all just, like, purposely want to hurt me? That's the easiest adept of your fucking life.
Secured.
You've never had an easier adept in your entire goddamn life. Yeah, that's what he gets for standing on top of the fucking hatch like a goddamn dumbass. Just fucking leave out of 10. I would then find out that what Jester was referring to was a single instant in which I insulted his piss-poor editing, not in any malice sense, but as a joke like you would do with people you are familiar with. Here's the clip. I swear 3 a.m. DBD is weird. Dude, 3 a.m. Okay, before we watch this clip, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. 3 a.m. Dead by Daylight is kind of like unwillingly putting your feet in a pot of boiling water while somebody hits you in the nuts with a rubber mallet. And you're getting a phone call from your abusive ex. Like, 3 a.m. Dead by Daylight is one of the most bizarre experiences you will ever fucking feel in your life. Give me pixels! Who submitted this shit? Ryan? Ryan? I don't think I would have ever guessed that you were fast forwarding the clip had you not put it in big white letters on the bottom of the screen in Nintendo SNES font. I appreciate your consideration for people who do not have a brain cell. Oh, well, that was uncalled for. This idiot went AFK right next to the fucking hook. Here we go, chat. Shameless plug of the VOD channel, by the way. Ryan, what the fuck did you just show me, dude? What the fuck was that goddamn ADHD ass Nickelodeon's kid editing that you just fucking gave me? How do you want me to respond to that? That's my question. That's my question, bro. How do you want me to respond to that baby sensory video ass editing you just put in front of me? Dumbass Legion out of 10. And if you doubt the names, here's the side-by-side comparison of their entries and their profile pictures on Discord. As for the mod dogs deleted my comment nonsense, here is Jester's comment on the statement, and as you can see, no one even replied to it. It was actually completely ignored, meaning even further lies. Also, if we scroll through the chat logs, we can see that Jester never submitted to the Spicy Selfies channel as he claimed he had. If he had submitted to it, and I deleted it, as I'm sure someone will claim, then it would still show up here in the chat logs when his name is searched, but it doesn't because that never happened. Further showcasing how much the people who accuse me of these things are pathological liars believed at face value by other pathological liars. Jester felt betrayed. He felt like somebody who he deeply cared about had insulted, berated, and belittled him, which is an overreaction, to say the least. Don't get me wrong, if you didn't like the joke that I made, I'm not saying that you have to, and I'm not saying that you have to be comfortable with it. I also find it interesting how you say that you brought this up, but you put LOL at the end of the statement, as if to say that you got the joke. So there was no cause for alarm. Had you actively came to me and said, hey, that didn't make me feel good, I felt really bad about the way that you put that and I didn't appreciate the joke, I would have apologized to you for making a joke at your expense that you didn't like, because I don't like when people make jokes at my expense that I don't like. I would have apologized had you actively came to me and explained the way that it made you feel, but you didn't do that. You simply made one random statement inside Discord, which everybody promptly ignored, and then you went off on a journey to destroy my name with lies, blatant lies, and as we can see here, you lie constantly throughout that entire comment. I'm sorry, Jester. I'm sorry that the one time I made fun of your content, you were really, really, really upset about it. I'm sorry that all the goodwill I had built up with you up until that point apparently got destroyed in a single instant. But that's not on me. That's on you for not coming to me about the situation. And that's really, really sad. You're a really sad person. I just... Really, man? Before we move on, I would like to address something that has commonly been said by the people involved in this situation, and something that I did forget to put within the script. Many people in this situation had said that if I simply ignored Blair and waited for her to go away, then none of this would have happened. And that may or may not be true. Unfortunately, here's my problem. Ignoring Blair and letting these allegations fester would eventually lead to people asking me why I was silent on them and why I hadn't spoken on them. History has taught us that content creators are held to an impossible, unhuman standard when it comes to things like this. Say the allegations had quote unquote, came to light, and people all over the place were asking me about it, but I was asleep for several hours. People would then begin immediately rushing to post videos or tweets or whatever about how I was silent on the entire situation, and I really didn't have any kind of argument. I would completely and utterly watch my life get ruined in moments, as what happened with the streamer SVB when fake screenshots came out that painted him as a child groomer. Nobody ever took SVB's side, and within a few hours, the screenshots were admitted to be fake. You can check that out within SVB's video on the topic.
Account by the name Nia Plays Overwatch accused me of grooming and soliciting nude images from underage girls, specifically her. Now, before we go any further, I should clearly state that these accusations were proven to be false. They were made by a troll account, a young boy from what we can gather, 14, as some people have told me, who made a fake account pretending to be a 17-year-old black woman, who then later confessed that the whole thing was a prank and that they simply wanted to show the community how in their words, cringe it is, and how easily it would cancel anyone. To that end, many people did try to cancel me, although I hate the word. And many people believed the allegations immediately, accusing me of being a pedophile, calling me names that I care really not to repeat right now. And so, in light of all this being exposed as fake,
which I should link down in the description down below, assuming that I can find it, because it is a very old video and it is a very old situation. The problem with these kinds of things is that it's a double-edged sword. I either ignore it, allow these things to fester, and then get accused of being silent on it, or I address the situation, and people who have always disliked me, as you will later see Tomie has, will use these as opportunities to harm me, despite how false the allegations are, which you can see that they're false by the multitude of videos that I have made at this point, disproving all of the claims. This is one of the biggest issues with all of this, is that people wanted me to simultaneously stay silent, but had the allegations gotten bigger, they would have wanted me to speak out. I tried to get ahead of it, and whether or not that was the right decision is meaningless, because I disproved the allegations. At this point, anybody who has been harassing me over the past few months and the people around me are not sane. They do not care about the truth. They only care about harming me, and that is not my fault. Now we come to the second biggest player in the game, meet Jason, whose name was PalletEater69, but has since changed their YouTube name or deleted their channel, as I can no longer find their channel. Jason would go on to make 3 rambling, unorganized videos about me with titles such as "Kaiser to Gamer allegations are crazy," "Things aren't looking good for them," and "They keep lying." You'll find all 3 videos in a drive down below, along with all the screenshots I've used in this video and pertinent videos such as Tomie's video where he admits he's going to dox me. Jason, as we will come to find out, is someone who loves to make assertions with no evidence, manipulate screenshots by heavily cropping them, and even posting irrelevant screenshots and leaving them out when he knows he has none. Jason, for one reason or another, hates me, and doubly so, I would guess, when I prove that I did not copyright strike his videos. But before we see his videos, let's take a look at the comments that he left on my friend's video that would lead to me discovering who this mystery "my video got copyright struck" dude was. He starts off by saying, "Kaiser is a proven creep who harasses kids and porks animals," which provides yet another allegation these people can't keep up with. So far, there has been racist, misogynist, incel grooming, pedophilia, cyberbullying, harassment, and now porking animals. It's like a never-ending trail of buzzwords they attempt to throw out so that any may solicit an emotional reaction in whoever reads this. They go on to say, "Tried to strike me multiple times." No, I didn't. As I showed in the video on the document, not a single one of my 4 channels has any copyright claims on them. There is nothing there. Avoids any interview or questioning about the situations. Well, it's because I'm done addressing allegations, or I was until this video. I've already disproven everything. If you truly cared, however, you would use the proof provided, but the proof provided does show you to be a bold-faced liar, and that's just not a good look. Jason then says, "They have all been proven in my videos," according to him, the allegations and the claims. Spoiler, they have not. His videos are mostly just him watching mine and dropping in occasional comments, and also really weird things like this tidbit.
Also, wait. He's trying to, like, say small person when he only has 1 notification on Twitter.
And him completely ignoring the video as well. He actually doesn't finish either of my videos, instead stopping both of them within minutes of the videos happening in order to go off rambling and pretending like I don't have any credibility to anything I'm saying, when later on in both videos I would provide hard evidence to the contrary. He points out how I say no nudity, then jumps to me showing an age-restricted lewds channel. It's this. No nudity in my Discord server, okay? No nudity. It's an—
This one's funny. This one's funny because he shows the exact channel right after. No nudity.
I did.
Spicy selfies.
I fucking did.
Why is it NSFW?
But I'm getting ahead of myself. His videos do not have proof of anything, only meaningless speculation and odd comments here and there. He is, for all intents and purposes, a bystander with no original thoughts, only seeking to harm me in any way he can. In the comment, he says, hiding the fact that the kid was trans to say she was transphobic. This is another claim to Blair's identity that came out when it was convenient. Not once during either the document or the original allegation was Blair being trans ever brought up. And since I'm not a creep like you weirdos who scrolls a supposed 16-year-old's Twitter, I would have never known that. But even if Blair was trans, it doesn't matter, as trans people can still be transphobic. In fact, it's incredibly common for people in the trans binary to shun non-binary people. And we even have bizarre people like Blair White and Kelly Cadigan, trans women fighting against trans rights. So at best, this point is moot, and at worst, it's created another false narrative to paint me as some sort of evil person. Admitting the nude channel without ID verification. This is something Tomie would also bring up later, by the way. It's against Discord terms and service to ask for user IDs. Specifically, it's not legal due to the GDPR, and doing illegal things is against Discord's TOS. I followed guidelines when I made the lewd channel age restricted upon its creation because that's what we are supposed to do. Trust me, if there was more I could have done without doxing people, I would have done so, but asking me to straight up dox people is just ridiculous and shows a complete lack of logic on Jason and Tomie as well. However, it makes more sense now as we would come to find out that both Jason and Tomie are perfectly fine with doxing people. They don't care. They see it as something that should be done. He then goes on to call me a predator and compare me to Chris Ava Tyson, saying the same shit she's getting canceled for. But again, this shows how disconnected Jason is from reality, as Chris Ava Tyson was canceled for speaking sexually toward a minor, not having a nudes channel where anyone could deposit nudes. He calls me a predator once again with no evidence before moving on to say, throwing Tomie under the bus, acting like they never heard of them when they were very close for months. And this part pissed me off more than anything. Tomie and I have never, ever been close. In fact, testimonies from people who were once close to Tomie stated that Tomie would often scroll my Twitter on Discord screen share, saying how weird and gross I was for liking NSFW stuff. You know, on my NSFW clearly marked 18 plus Twitter. Again, showcasing a complete lack of awareness. Tomie and I were not even friends. We were barely acquaintances, passing each other in the hall occasionally. Most of my interactions with Tomie were brief, save for a public one where he came into my chat with a bit of existential crisis that I won't reveal as it is at my place, and as you can tell, I respect people's fucking privacy. But me and my chat would help him through it. Other than a minor message here or there, with rarely conversations longer than 1 to 5 paragraphs happening in public Twitch chats, I knew nothing of Tomie. I didn't even know he wasn't in the US until doxing happened. But why should Jason concern himself with something like facts? No, he has far more important things to do, like claiming that people weren't being transphobic to me and acting like anything was about my, quote, online behavior when I disproved everything said. Now let's move on to Jason's videos. In his first video, after some really snide comments, Jason does something he's really good at, making assertions with literally no evidence or even logic behind it. Here he starts rambling about how I said there were no nudes before. No nudity in my Discord server, okay? No nudity. It's
This one's funny. This one's funny because he shows the exact channel right after. No nudity.
I did.
Spicy selfies.
I fucking did.
Why is it NSFW? This one actually got me. When I watched this one actually made me be like, okay, I was on your side, but why is it NSFW if no nudes are allowed? That seems like a rule you may have just added after being called out.
You know, something I'm literally about to explain within the very same video, and then goes off on a tangent about how every channel should be age restricted because the server is 18 plus, when that's just stupid.
Like, you did not deserve to be called a pedophile by that person, but that is incredibly sus and creepy. Even if it's not nudes, the fact that it has the NSFW tag, if the whole channel is 18 plus already, then every channel should have that by definition. But the fact that it has that implies that it's a channel for sexual gratification.
Why would I mark the non-NSFW channels age restricted? It's there for a reason, to mark actual NSF stuff W as NSFW. 18 plus does not automatically mean porn server. What it means is no minors allowed for any reason, even if it's just because I don't want them around. What I mean to say is, even in the case where there would be absolutely nothing, I would make no raunchy jokes and I was the most family-friendly person you've ever met, as was my Discord server. If I mark it as 18 plus, no one should be in there, and I should not be lambasted for not marking every single channel as age restricted, because first off, what would that have actually solved? It's very obvious that Blair did not give a fuck about any sort of warnings toward anything and would have just clicked through all of them anyway, so obviously that doesn't make a difference, and you're just trying to criticize me at this point. Anyway, he would go on to say, it is your responsibility as a content creator to make sure people who post in channels like that are over the age of 18.
That's not okay. As a content creator, it is your responsibility to make sure the ages of people you post or have post in your server for channels like that are over the age of 18. Making a rule isn't enough.
But I have done everything I can. Again, this idea that you should break the law and Discord's TOS to ask for people's ID at the door is foolish. But as we will later see, Tomie is quite comfortable gathering people's personal information, so it's not a surprise his buddy Jason is here for it. Anyway, his implications throughout this video is the age restricted is somehow some sort of cover, or that I added it after the fact when literally hundreds of people can confirm that it's been there since the community became 18 plus and it has always been age restricted. And like Booper Looper from earlier, Occam's razor escapes Jason. Perhaps, Jason, if you take the long road of logic with me, you might come to the simple conclusion that the channel is marked age restricted because it is the only channel that will have people in less clothes than normal, and I wanted everyone to have a fair warning before they entered it, as well as it's kind of like Discord's rule to have those kind of channels age restricted. He then says, I joined the server myself and saw women showing their nipples, but then provides zero proof.
Like, I don't care if it says no nudes in there. I personally joined the server myself and I saw people assigned female at birth showing their nipples. Now, I'm not trying to be conservative. I'm not trying to be the, oh, you're born a woman, you're always a woman. But like, if you're having stuff of that kind of nature, I would 100% make sure that they are over 18.
Which is funny because in the video, he chastises me for not showing screenshots of harassment I very clearly would not have, as I block people who harass me. This is something that commonly happens with Jason, where he screams about me not providing evidence while he himself provides no evidence. If you had a topless woman with her nipples showing, then you would have a screenshot, even a censored screenshot of that, and you would have a full one that actively shows the server, not just some random Discord message that happens to have a woman's titties out. But you don't have that. If you did, you would have shown it, right? Right? In any case, he goes on to say, wow, that's pretty serious shit. No one just says that shit. In response to Blair's message.
No, you can't bring that up for a second. No, let's see it.
How they purposely they started a fight with my mod, and my mod timed them out. They proceeded to, and you...
So you just be a manipulative incel calling me these names, acting like shit's gonna be okay, Lamau Nias. Good job removing the highest donator from Kaiser's Patreon, misogynistic asshole. Oh, silence the... Okay, I don't know the context to this, but that sounds pretty bad, honestly, from the mod's part. If no one just says that shit.
But it is very clear from the responses that Blair posts as proof of these things happening that she does just say that shit because she's a pathological liar. He would not make it that far in the video, by the way. Once I would come to point out the fact that she misgenders me constantly, he would just click off the video and stop watching it. You can even see it here, how they purposely misgender me.
Alright, that's enough of this video. This guy lost all credibility.
I literally provide proof moments later that Blair was making shit up. So instead of finishing the video where I show evidence of lies, instead he goes on to play semantics with the definition of the word harem, the role given to my VIPs, which is not mostly comprised of women, by the way, and says I'm calling myself a guy with the name.
Kaiser's harem. Now let's look at the definition of harem. Separate part of a Muslim household reserved for wives, concubines, and female servants. So you are with one man. They typically, yeah, a group of females associated with one man. So you are using words addressing yourself as a man, and you are having roles objectifying the women in your server, basically, in a sexual way, because that's what harem is, and then saying that there's nothing sexual about...
Dude, it's a funny haha name. It's literally just a silly fucking name for the VIP role. Like I said, Jason loves to ignore Occam's razor in favor of more outlandish and ridiculous claims because it fits his narrative. Not concerned with the facts or even basic logic a fucking 10-year-old could comprehend, Jason is content to sit back and do as Tomie does and manipulate facts to fit a false narrative. He finishes his video off saying, "Stop sending people to harass minors."
Just stay back to getting 4-outed with Wraith, dude. Like, you're not good trying to do this exposed content. Just stay back to your stream, stay in your lane, stop sending people to harass fucking minors, and you're good. All you have to do is add a single fucking role, and, like, yeah, it was a fair criticism. Just, come on.
Now we go into my server, but I never did. In fact, I actively discouraged harassment, but again, Jason does not care about that. The second video Jason would come to make on me is a reaction to the Google Doc Tomie made. He starts off with a sob story about how he used to like me. Yeah, you could really tell given how the first video gave me absolutely no benefit of a doubt and was instead filled with wild tales even the greatest storytellers couldn't come up with. Whatever, let's get into it. The first thing that sticks out to me is out of a half-hour video, Jason's video manages to be barely 6 minutes long, meaning tons of context and such will be missing. In any case, he begins with the claim that I sent people to harass a 16-year-old girl with a history of cutting, eating disorders, and more.
In which they sent harassment to a 16-year-old girl with very clear mental disorders. They have a post-history of cutting and eating disorders, and
as I've stated previously, digging through a 16-year-old girl's Twitter is wild enough, but what's crazier is how he shows a screen cap of Blair claiming misogyny in my server while showing no misogyny in the screenshot, further proving how much of a chronic liar she is. I also want you to pay close attention to the fact the screenshots from Discord that Blair posts are always in dark mode. This will become important later. Anyway, he also shows irrelevant screenshots like this, one of some random dude who means nothing to this situation, apparently love bombing Blair when she just barely knows him, which is just, don't do that, guys. That's like really fucking weird. Like don't just love bomb people, and also don't use slurs toward people you supposedly love. Like, looking at the screenshot more and more, I actually kind of feel for Blair, and no, not kind of, I really do feel for Blair, because the guy in those Discord messages is fucking unhinged, but he has absolutely nothing to do with me. He also shows proof of that an ex-community member of mine was harassing Blair. Funnily enough, directly after the doc was released, Tomie was messaging with another community member of mine and asked me to prove myself by banning someone they could prove was harassing Blair, and upon the proof, I fucking did. A channel member and high donor was banned from my community once proof of harassment showed up to me. And yet Jason still includes this in the video because if he admitted Tubby was no longer allowed in my community, then he would lose even more credibility that he already doesn't have. We would go on to find out later, because I know some people might think, well, maybe he made the video before you banned Tubby, but I don't think he did. I don't have any proof for that, but I don't think he did. But we would go to find out later in his third video, he would bring Tubby up again, showing further and further that Jason simply does not care about proof. He then goes on to say that there's truths to the accusation that Blair saw NSFW material without wanting to.
There is truth to their accusations. They did see NSFW material without wanting to, without any age verification.
The problem with this, unfortunately, is that if I put up a big-ass brick wall with a steel door that says bottomless pit on the other side, and then behind that is another big-ass brick wall with a steel door that says, seriously, big-ass bottomless pit on the other side, and you walk through the door, you do not then get to be pissed when you fall into the bottomless pit. That is not how reality works. And even though Blair is a child and has shown herself to be quite daft, we can at least give her the benefit of the doubt that she knows how to fucking read. It's not as if she entered the server and there on the main chat as the first thing you see would be lewds. No, she had to overcome multiple barriers to get there, including lying to the Discord themselves about her age. This consistent removal of responsibilities from teenagers when they create problems for themselves is getting exhausting. I don't know about the rest of you, but growing up, whenever I, as a stupid teenager, would do some stupid shit, I would be held accountable for my actions. I would be told how I was doing wrong. I would be told that what I was doing wasn't right. And even if we take that a step further, whenever things come out about what people said when they were in high school, people always say just because you were a kid, it doesn't excuse your actions. The same thing applies here. Just because Blair is 16 and just because some teenagers are fucking idiots and ignore rules, it doesn't mean we should absolve Blair of her responsibility to follow rules. If you cannot follow rules and warning signs and you walk past all of that, what happens at the end of the day is your fault. Seeing images you did not want to see is your fault because you ignored the rules. You cannot ignore blatant rules when you play the victim. That's just not how the real world works. It reminds me of teenagers who start arguments online, then when they lose the arguments, they start screaming, "Wow, feel good about talking that way to a minor?" It's like challenging Mike Tyson to a boxing match and then after the first punch breaking out the crutches and asking why he had to hit a disabled person. It makes no fucking sense. He then goes on to do what I will admit is a pretty funny voiceover of one of my tweets. A tweet, I will remind again, was posted on an 18+ Twitter. No, seriously, check this out. This is actually genuine comedic talent.
If I hit my sub goal, I'll do a wet t-shirt video live on stream with a very thin white shirt I own. Said shirt.
Now here, I'd like to take a small break as the main complaint of both Jason and Tomie is I post, like, and sometimes retweet NSFW stuff on my 18+ Twitter. However, there's hypocrisy involved. On Twitter, there is a shirtless man in a bow tie who streams DBD. A couple of DBD creators I follow also post lewds of themselves on their Twitter. But for some reason, I, the conventionally unattractive person, is the one that you have a problem with doing the same thing. I am the singular target. Thankfully, I got a quick screenshot of Jason's channel before he deleted or changed the name or whatever he did, and on it you can see that of 8 videos, 5 of them are about me. He labels himself a drama channel, yet has not made one video on any other drama occurring. At least I can give Tomie that credit. When becoming a drama channel, he did actually make drama content. Might as well rename Jason's channel to I Hate Kaiser or whatever. You'll find that this complete lack of credibility is something that is prevalent between Tomie and Jason. Of everything they have tried to do, they have tried to expose me for doing the exact same thing that multiple other people have done. But because these multiple other people are conventionally attractive, they don't care. Because they personally find these people hot, because they personally want to harm me and only harm me, they will not bring these other people up and instead will lambast me and act like I have some sort of unique responsibility among the masses that other people do not. Anyway, let's take a look at some tweets he had a problem with.
Goodness! Squidward!
After playing a copyright clip from the SpongeBob show, he shows these 3 tweets. In those tweets, the things that he calls weird, we have a pretty black woman, a classical painting of a topless woman, and some cute dumb art of a bunny wearing a bikini. Wait. Is that why you made the porking animals accusation? Of these 3, only one can be considered remotely horny, that being the beautiful black woman on the left, which, by the way, the tweet in full was the man captioning how gorgeous black women are, which is a statement I highly agree with. This is not jork material, but Jason saw a pretty black woman in low-hanging clothes and decided that was enough for him. Moving on to the classical painting is just that, a painting in a classical style. I know you have no culture in your body or logic in your brain, Jason, but I find it odd how you immediately jump to porn when seeing a woman's bare breasts, regardless of the context. Seems that the real porn brain is you, further proven by how you somehow looked at the drawing on the right and gathered that it was sexual when it is in fact a cute dumb rabbit in a bikini. Not a rabbit getting fucked or even anthropomorphized rabbit, just A rabbit in a bikini. Perhaps the reason Jason hates me so much is because secretly he's a raving horn dog and wants to be open about it like I am, but the things he's horny for are rabbits and classical paintings, and he couldn't face the shame of it all.
Namely Blair, a minor who was exposed to NSFW images, they weren't, and then harassed, they weren't.
So I say they weren't exposed to NSFW images or harassed, which they were not exposed to NSFW images. And again, with the fucking rabbit. What is it with Jason and this fucking rabbit? It's not NSFW. It's a rabbit. In any case, Blair was not exposed to NSFW images. She willingly ignored rules, a billion barricades, and found them herself, which she should not have been doing. Now, I will admit some harassment did happen, and I took care of it the moment it was revealed to me. Again, more than likely before this video was even made. I don't have timestamps for upload, so I couldn't tell you, but what was weird is he shows two screenshots for the harassment. The one on the right shows me liking a comment of someone calling Blair a virgin on the original video, with Blair saying, "Wow, calling the CSA victim a virgin is worse than child porn," which is a fucking wild-ass statement. Because now we've added child porn to the long list of accusations with no evidence, and now suddenly, once again, when it suits her, Blair has yet another thing wrong she can bring up. She went from a capable cis female mad about misogyny that didn't exist to a trans teenager who's the victim of CSA over the course of a week. Whether she's telling the truth about these things, I don't know, and no one can, because as I've shown already, Blair is a pathological liar. Now, I don't want to sit here and claim that she's not a CSA victim, or that she's not a teenager, or that she's not trans, because that would be erroneous. What I will, however, point out is how often Blair lies and how often these things pop up when it best suits the situation. Only when Blair can manipulate these things to her advantage do they come up. And even if she isn't, there is no way in hell I could have known she was a CSA victim, because why the fuck would I know that? Why would anyone who knows Blair personally know that information? The answer is we fucking wouldn't. There's absolutely no way for me, nor the random commenter, to possibly know that she was a CSA victim. And this is just another thinly veiled attempt to pin something else on me to create a narrative. But the other screenshot once again shows this random dude who I've never seen nor heard of as evidence of me somehow causing the harassment. It's not even related to the situation, by the way. The image is heavily cropped, as you'll find out Jason loves to do. It's made to seem like this is a community member of mine I'm somehow endorsing.
I never wanted anybody to self-harm.
You don't get to say shit like that after they post pictures and videos of them cutting themselves.
Where, Jason? The only thing you showed was a screenshot from Saw 3. Where is the pictures and videos of them cutting themselves? And even if they were, it doesn't matter, because my intentions do mean something. I am allowed to defend myself against people calling me a groomer and a pedophile, Jason. You don't get a free ride to accuse people of awful shit with no proof and then play victim when they come back with facts. I never did want that. What I wanted was for them, and eventually you and Tomie, to leave me alone. Oh, and he also fat shames me.
You fat piece of shit.
I never wanted that to happen, but
You don't get to act like this. You're a grown man in their 30s. She's 16. She's cutting herself. You sent people to her.
Once again, saying I sent people to her with not a single shred of evidence. I want you to find the place where I said, go harass this person. The answer is you fucking can't, because it never happened.
she was not the one harassed. I was.
This is also a meaningless statement. I don't care. Don't harass people. It's fucking simple as that. Bringing up mine and Blair's age constantly completely deflects all responsibility from the minor whose Twitter you constantly stalk and scroll through.
Kaiser creates a spicy selfies channel with the intent of supporting body positivity. I love how you put this in quotes, as if that wasn't the intent of that channel.
Spicy selfies, age restricted, put in a gaming server. You know, where people game and don't want to see nudes. You, like, again...
Now here Jason makes the first slip up, of which Tomie did as well. Calling my server a gaming server is wrong. You see, Jason loves to attach labels to me and my server and my content without reason. There is zero reason to call my server a gaming server. Gaming content is not and has never been the only content I do. And just because it's the most popular, it doesn't matter. I don't care. My server is not a gaming server. It was clearly marked. I don't give a fuck if you think it shouldn't have been there. It was, by your own admission, clearly marked and ignored. Like every other content creator on the fucking planet, my server is a place for my community to come together in order to talk with people about any and everything offline. They don't have to be in a Twitch chat. They don't have to be in a comment section. They don't have to be on Twitter in replies. They can all come together as a community to talk with each other about everything, whether that be my content or their lives or whatever the case may be. We are a very open discussion community as long as you are at least 18 years of age or older. And putting labels on my server, ones that I did not give it, nor would anyone with any sane common sense give it, is just another tactic in order to make it seem like I intentionally manipulated people into doing something that they did not want to do. This is ridiculous.
No, you're a coomer, you're a disgusting piece of shit.
You are a coomer and a disgusting piece of shit. My guy, you were the one who called a drawing of a rabbit in SFW. What the fuck are you on?
You constantly ask your fans for, like, pictures without asking. Like you want them to send you pictures without asking. I have the screenshot there.
Once again, Jason does this thing where he makes a claim and then throws up a fucking unrelated tweet. It's just me retweeting how I want to be loved. Nowhere in the tweet do I ask my fans for nude. Nowhere will you ever find me seriously asking people for nudes. I'm not even comfortable asking my partners I'm in relationships with for nudes. Why the fuck would I ask strangers on the internet? Oh yeah, I wouldn't. But you don't care.
You constantly like horny shit on Twitter. You're like on your main.
Yes, Jason, I like horny shit on my 18 plus Twitter because I fucking like horny shit sometimes. It's amazing. Out of all of the countless art pieces, think pieces, anime, political opinions, gaming opinions, and more, don't make it to these exposés. It's almost as if you pick and choose so you can create a narrative. Almost as if you're a lying piece of garbage.
The Spicy Selfies channel, like I mentioned in the last time I had to do a video on this fucking bullshit, did exist. I'm not going to deny that it did exist. However, when it came time...
But you're denying all the posts that were there. Everyone's seen them. We have hundreds of people who've seen them. We have, like, at least 10 testimonies saying they've seen nudes in there, and you're acting like they've never been posted.
Hundreds and hundreds of people have seen them. We have at least 10 testimonies of people who have seen the nudes in there. I would say nobody ever taught you math, but I would like to give your teachers more credit than that. And given what I know about you, more than likely what happened is the teachers did teach you math, but you just elected to ignore the situation. And then you probably also called your teacher a groomer because you just fucking throw those words out like candy. Does anyone else see the problem? Anyone else notice the discrepancy? As I showed in the last section, one of these people had a personal vendetta against me. As we will see in Tomie's section, he does as well. There is no credible source for the supposed nudes. Despite the channel being up for a whole week before it was taken down, no one can provide a single shred of physical evidence, merely hearsay and horseshit.
To revamp the Discord, which we recently did, I made the decision to get rid of the channel, not because I want to dodge accountability, as this person puts it.
Then why are you stuttering?
I have a fucking stutter, bro, as you did several times throughout these videos. It's almost like when people are frustrated and speaking off the top of their head, stutters fucking happen. I also have ADHD, which means I sometimes have to force my brain to slow down.
But because the channel wasn't being used, it was collecting dust.
Oh, so the channel you made for sexy selfies and nudes wasn't being used, so you deleted it. So your fans weren't being of sexual gratification or use to you, so you deleted it. Okay.
What the fuck are you on about? Once again, Occam's razor is tossed out the fucking window. This person legitimately, you could come up to Jason and you could be like, wow, I really like the sun. And he would somehow twist that into you wanting to fuck a naked mole rat. Jason's line of logic does not exist. Jason is legitimately one of the most illogical people in the world. No, you fucking troglodyte. What it means is why have a channel that no one uses when redoing the Discord, especially if it's going to cause a collection of mouth breathers like yourself to cause me trouble in my otherwise peaceful life. I went through, I asked people what kind of channels they wanted to see, what kind of video games, what kind.
Where's the screenshots? Where's the proof? Show your server, because I have the horror Tomie screenshot I can pull up.
Where's the screenshots? Asked the person who provides no evidence for anything and believes everything without evidence. And once again, you show meaningless fucking screenshots of people continuing to misgender me, as none of you say anything because transphobia is cool when it's someone you don't like. And once again, Jason shows screenshots that have no relevance to the conversation. He flashes them up really quickly in an attempt to confuse the viewer, thinking nobody is going to go back and read the fucking things. But these screenshots have literally nothing to do with my point. And imagine asking for proof that I asked my community what they wanted for the revamp. You're grasping at straws when the Starbucks is fucking closed, my guy. Kind of creative writing, stuff like that. And I said, we're going to revamp the Discord and redo it. But that channel was not just open to anybody. It was age restricted.
If a Discord user is 16, they cannot see new channels or servers. You had an NSFW server with NSFW content without any bot age restricting or any ID checking or anything. Just the base Discord, are you 18, yes or no?
My brother in Christ, you just said yourself, if someone is 16, they can't see it, which means Blair lied about her fucking age. Holy shit. And again, with the fucking IDs, that is fucking illegal and against Discord's POS.
If you've ever been a kid before, you know that is bullshit safety verification.
Yeah, and guess what? I knew it was wrong when I was a kid, and that wasn't anybody else's problem. I look forward to the several videos you do to demand IDs for Reddits, RedTube, NSFW, Twitter accounts, Newgrounds, and more. You won't make those, of course. You don't actually care. You simply want to be right in a situation where you are clearly wrong. Because you saw it said, must be at least 18, and you clicked you were 18. So it was.
What do I have to... Woo! Make my job a lot easier when you do it for me. Oh my god. That's enough of this video tonight, guys. Just admitted to it right there.
And then he ends the nearly half-hour video not going any deeper and then saying, I admitted to it. What I admitted to, who the fuck knows? But he's not going to elaborate or finish the video where I own his ass with hard evidence I never copyright struck his channel. Oh, sorry. I've been working on this video for around 7-ish hours now, but something that I just thought about that I didn't think to bring up before is some people might question why I'm even taking the time to sit here and go over Jason's videos. And the reason for that is, one, like I said in the beginning of this video, to showcase the type of people that Tomie surrounds himself with and Tomie utilizes to make his false claims. And number two, it's because Jason has been adamant at every chance he gets that these videos are some kind of higher form of evidence, that he has some sort of proof of the allegations levied against me that I am a groomer or a pedophile or anything like that. But these videos, as you've seen so far, have no proof. And spoiler alert, the last video will equally have no proof of his claims. The last video, in fact, makes him look exactly like the liar that he is. But my point is that throughout this entire thing, I'm responding to these videos because I know that if I didn't, when making this video, Jason would continue to rally and perpetuate that I am ignoring his videos, when in reality, for the longest time, I didn't even know they existed. The truth of the matter is that Jason is an actual clout chaser. All he cares about is his videos. That's all he gives a damn about. He always continuously perpetuates his videos. He says it in Discord servers. He says it in comment sections. I'm I'm sure he says it on Twitter if he has one. I don't know. I haven't seen it on Twitter. But every time I've seen his name pop up in regards to the situation, it's been about his videos. All of his videos. He wants clout. He wants me to respond to his videos. He wants me to make this because he wants somebody, anybody, to pay attention to him. And I want to make it perfectly clear that even though he wants attention and I am giving him the attention that he wants, which is maybe something I should or shouldn't do, I will leave that up to you. I also want to make sure that everybody understands. Should Jason ever reveal what his new YouTube is? Should he ever come back and try to be a YouTuber, or maybe his YouTube video is still up? I don't know. Don't watch it. Don't even hate watch it. Don't hate comment, don't like, don't do anything. Let him fade into obscurity. Because the worst thing for an attention hog to get is no attention at all. Finally, we hit the third and final video. It's only 2 minutes, so let's hurry through it.
Kaiser the Gamer is a 30-year-old YouTuber who harasses small children, tells them to cut each other.
We open up the third video with yet another baseless accusation saying I harass small children and tell them to cut each other. He posts no screenshots, no clips of me saying this, nothing, because he has nothing. He posts screenshots of Blair retweeting Cuddy tweets, and again, really fucking weird how invested he is in a 16-year-old's Twitter.
And then hides the fact that they're trans for saying they are transphobic and trying to insult their identity.
Then says I hide the fact that they are trans, despite the fact that them being trans never being mentioned once in either of the original allegations or the Google Doc. But like I mentioned earlier, being trans does not exempt you from transphobia. And then posts a random pill bottle with no label to show what the medication is. Just a pill bottle that says twice a day. By the way, 16-year-olds cannot be on E, or estrogen, without parents' consent, and estrogen is taken once a day, typically not twice a day. If it is taken twice a day, it's normally a collaguant that is put into the lower areas. And I know this because I actually did my research. Now, maybe they are trans. Maybe their parents gave them permission. Maybe they got a rare ass estrogen pill that's taken twice a day. Or maybe, just maybe, the proven pathological liar is lying. But again, even if she were trans, it doesn't matter, as trans people can still be transphobic.
You are a disgusting freak, sending people to harass a 16-year-old trans girl.
More meaningless tweets thrown up on the side. Relevancy is not Jason's strong suit. Once again, I never sent anyone to harass her. Show me one clip, one text message, one anything where I said, now everyone go get her. The truth is you can't. You bring up Tubby Squirrel again, despite the fact that he has long since been banned by this point, and I know you know this because you and Tomie are buds, as shown by a later screenshot. Then, in the middle, you show the same screenshot of Blair making a claim with a screenshot that proves fucking nothing, with random blur effects for I don't know, no reason, or your piss poor editing skills. And on the left is some art that Blair retweeted. Once again, showing your screenshots have no relevance to anything. It's just meaningless dribble.
Who cuts themselves and posts about it every day.
Yeah, it's awful she cuts herself. She obviously needs therapy, but it has nothing to do with me. Once again, Jason is employing the same tactic both Blair and Tomie use, where they try to tug at your heartstrings to make their claims that have zero evidence more credible. This is actually something that is very common among people like this. They know the things they are saying are lies. They know the things they are saying have no evidence to back them. So what they will instead do is attempt to appeal to emotion. They will give you some emotional reasons to believe them rather than physical and emotional. Had they been able to showcase a clip or a text message or literally anything where I said, go attack this person, along with the fact that Blair is a depressed child who cuts themselves, that would be one thing. But because they cannot show evidence to their claims, they instead try to appeal to your emotional side by showcasing this poor, pathetic child in a dangerous situation against the big, bad, evil 30-year-old. But the truth of the matter is that this is all exactly what I said. It's manipulation. And as somebody who has been manipulated in every single one of my past relationships, well, most of my past relationships, like 1 or 2 of them were good, I can tell you right now that this is just a very common tactic that manipulators use.
They called you a pedophile when you also lied about them and said so much shit without any screenshots or evidence.
Oh,
kind of like you're doing now and have been doing this entire time. By the way, had you finished either video I did, I provided plenty of screenshots in both of them. Tons of evidence of Blair being a pathological liar, but once again, you do not care. You care only about your own vendetta against me.
You are a fucking pervert.
Again with the fucking rabbit, bro. If you want to fuck bunnies, keep it to yourself. Jesus fucking Christ, it's not sexual. It's a fucking rabbit. You'll also notice that the vast majority of the evidence of me being some kind of weirdo on Twitter or whatever is just the same 3 tweets recycled over and over again. They can't find that much because there isn't that much. The reality of the situation is that the vast majority of my public likes, back when likes were public, my retweets and more, are actually not NSFW content. There's some in there, which again is why I mark my Twitter as such, but most of the time it's not that. Most of the time it's political opinions, societal opinions, it's me retweeting anime or me retweeting funny videos or literally anything you would expect the average person to have. But in order for them to create the narrative that I'm some sort of super perverted coomer who is constantly fucking horny and always jacking off to everything, they have to cherry pick as much as they possibly can. And you'll see that actually in a little bit.
You have blocked me and avoided me whenever I've asked for context on this situation or asked to interview you about the situation.
Yeah, I blocked you because it's very obvious you ask nothing in good faith, as shown by all 3 of these videos. You constantly ignore hard evidence, providing irrelevant screenshots. As we are about to see, you heavily crop things as well to create the illusion of proof.
I struck my video and then only shown your actual, content creation channels striking history on your video. It's like, yeah, no shit, you're not going to do it on a main channel, dude. iShowSpeed's been doing this for years. You make a fucking burner. We know how you do it, dude. I literally have a screenshot right there.
And now it's time to show exactly how manipulative Jason is with these. Here we have an active community guideline strike warning. Nowhere does it show a copyright strike as been put in place. The fun part is, if you had actual proof of a copyright struck, you would show it. Where's the email showing the strike? Where's the little box when you click on a copyright? It shows who copyright struck you. Hell, where's the actual explanation of why you got a warning? There are dozens of community guidelines that warning can be for, but you show none of it. Oh, and here's the best part. A copyright strike takes down the video. YouTube forcibly removes it, yet all 3 of your videos in their completion were still up when I checked. So you're either a filthy fucking liar, the strike isn't for copyright, or it is, and it's for a completely different video no longer on your channel. And hey, what happened to those multiple strikes you told my friend about earlier? Could it be you were also full of shit there as well? Of course you were.
We know you were friends with Tomie. You threw him under the bus, acting like you never heard of him when he made the doc. You're a piece of shit. You're just a piece of shit.
Once again, not once did I ever act like I'd never heard of Tomie, and once again, we were not friends. And responding to a fucking Google Doc full of lies is not throwing someone under the bus.
I have the screenshot of Blair actually contacting you when they did mention the whole age of consent stuff, and you lied saying they never did.
Now here's the fun part. This screenshot is sus. Awfully sus. All of Blair's Discord screenshots, including the one in this one, have been in dark mode. All of them, and yet this one, and that is supposed to come from Blair herself, is in light mode. Also, notice how the missing edit symbol at the bottom of this screenshot, which appears in the one I grabbed earlier. Notice also how there's no difference between the last 2 messages. So why, pray tell, does mine say edited and this one does not? Possibly this was doctored, but again, this message was very obviously edited after my addressing allegations video, so I am not lying about being told about this supposed nude problem by them at first. In fact, you can even see the top messages say nothing of it, and it's not until after they feel slighted by my response that it shows up, further proving they either did not mention it until after I had already banned them from the server, but also that I wouldn't have gotten that far in the messages as upon seeing them call my server sexist and showing me a screenshot that shows no sexism, I immediately banned them without a second thought. But again, had you watched my videos all the way through, you would have seen the numerous screenshots sent to both Discord members and the mod they fought, and none of them mentioned the channel. So from all this, we can confirm that this message was something Blair was told to say. Then someone screenshotted it who wasn't Blair, erased the edited part so it wouldn't seem like it was added later, and then put this heavily cropped screenshot onto the video. Now, you wouldn't do that. Would you, Jason?
So there's more of that. You're just lying and hiding so much shit, dude. You're a fucking freak. Makes me actually believe you kind of are a pedophile. At the end of the day, you delete and hide evidence. You've lied. You have falsified extra evidence. You claim that people are trying to make a false narrative on you when all you do is exactly that. You make videos on this drama when no one's seen it because you're constantly refreshing your name on Twitter trying to see if anyone's talking shit. And when you saw my video, what did you do? You copyright struck it because you knew if you made a video on it showing all that shit, it would not be good for you.
He then goes on to just tell me he believes I'm a pedophile, once again with no evidence, while bitching about not having evidence. You know, the evidence I provided in the videos he didn't watch, and then goes on to bring up the copyright shit again, which we've already disproved, and then accuses me of refreshing my name on Twitter, which I'm flattered you think I have that kind of time. I run 4 YouTube channels that I write, edit, film, produce, and more, all by myself, on top of having to stream every day, on top of having to grab clips and having to donate twice a week to supplement my income. I'm actually pausing all projects right now to work on this video. I have a backlog of shit that needs to be finished next week for the channel. But once again, you provide a claim with no evidence. But here comes the part that boils my blood. After some nonsense of me having an echo chamber of 16-year-olds, which is another substantial claim, he says this.
You know, your echo chamber fans that are literally all 16 and still defending you, you know this. What about nest seals in your server? Literally 14 in their bio, nothing. You do nothing about that.
I have no fucking idea who he's referring to. I tried searching various forms of the name, I think I heard, but nothing came up. This would be a whole lot fucking easier if you, I don't know, provided some fucking evidence. For all your love of screenshots, you provide nothing here. You say, they have 14 in their bio and you do nothing, but who the fuck are they? Why not post a screenshot of my Discord server with you hovering over the person's name to show the bio? Why not give me the chance to do something about it? How the fuck am I supposed to ban people I don't know are there? No better to attempt to create doubt within me than attempt to hold me to my word. Well, you know what? I did try to find this person. First, I ended up trying to search their name in the multiple ways I feel the name could have been spelled, but again, all I had to go off was my hearing, and he kind of mumbled through the name, so I don't know. But after that failed, I went through 400-ish profiles. I clicked on every single one of them down the line. Now, I didn't film myself doing this, unfortunately. This was an action that I took back when I discovered Jason's videos originally, and I did not want to make a video on them at the time. But I will be completely honest with you. I found someone. At the very bottom, they had the age 15 in their bio. Their name was Chucky is here, and I promptly banned them. And look, here they are, in the ban list of the server, almost as if bringing them to my attention does something. We aren't going to catch every person, and I encourage anyone, not just my community, to let me know if a minor has made it in. I have regularly banned minors and shared the information with other 18+ creators because I am actually interested in keeping them out of my spaces, unlike you, who spent 3 videos insulting me, making wild accusations with nothing to back it up, taking wild trains of thoughts and declaring inferences in the dumbest ways possible. But then, at the end of it, you say this.
But like, hey, what am I here? A person trying to look for the truth? A person trying to put an end to these claims and defend you? Oh yeah, I won!
Put an end to these claims and defend me? Look for the truth? You lying sack of shit. The only thing you've done for the only thing you've done for 3 goddamn videos is ignore hard evidence, falsify claims, post unrelated screenshots, horn after a drawing of a rabbit in a bikini, and insult me. You don't care about the truth. You care about hurting me. For what reason, I don't know. I don't even know who the fuck you are, but fuck it, I guess. Oh, this situation just, I mean, as I make this video, it grows and grows and grows. I am predicting the video's length to be roughly 2 hours at this point, and I am hoping, just hoping that we will get through this at a reasonable pace. But
Jason has declared some pretty outlandish shit inside of a Discord server. Now, whose Discord server? I don't know. What Discord server? I don't know. But this was sent to me by somebody on my stream, and this is Jason. He has chosen to reveal this name, and he says nobody's address or stuff was stolen. Also, it's perfectly legal to tail someone home. No, it's not, Jason. That's called stalking. You fucking idiot. It's what you do with that after that's the issue. No. Tailing somebody home is stalking. And also, nobody's address or stuff was stolen. Tomie literally admitted he had my fucking address.
They basically messaged me with Kaiser's full information, address.
So he said, I'll keep Tomie's name out of future videos possibly, but I'm going to screenshot a few things in chat for my vid. Oh, good. He's making another one. I won't be responding to any more videos of his, by the way. When I said this was the last time I was speaking on this video was the last time, I meant it. So if he releases a new video, I honestly, guys, just fucking ignore it, to be real with you. Just completely fucking ignore it, or just keep in mind of everything I've shown you about Jason up to this point. He says, mostly the fan comments and one of someone saying they are definitely sending Tomie stuff sounds so incriminating and suspicious. What? Wait, they are definitely sending Tomie stuff. What? Wait, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck he's saying. Is he saying that a fan of mine is saying that they're going to send Tomie something at his address? Are you saying that they're going to send Tomie something from what I've said or my server has said? Are you saying that they're going to send something that Tomie or his server has said to me? What does this mean? In the worst case scenario of someone saying they're going to send shit to Tomie's address or whatever, don't fucking do that. If you're out there seriously saying shit like that, don't do that. Have you lost your fucking minds? Are you stupid? Don't do that. I literally condemn that shit. And if you do that, if you get a hold of Tomie's personal address and you send him shit, I hope he can press charges against you. I'm not kidding. As much as I hate this lowbrow piece of shit and I hope he spends time behind bars, I'm not kidding when I say that if one of you finds his address and you do something malicious with it, I hope to fuck he catches you. We will not use the weapon of the enemy. But on the other side of sending me stuff that Tomie or his server has said, people are doing the same thing for my server, like vice versa. Like that's kind of what happens in these situations where like the fans, I don't like calling you guys fans. The I guess fans is the way to say it, of creators are volatile, basically. I've spoken about this in the past where fans of creators are very volatile and they'll just do shit of their own volition. But yeah, like that's just kind of what happens. So I don't know about that. And then he tops it off by saying, I am the new horror Tomie. I'll use a different name, but I'll be the DBD Keemstar with occasional actual gaming videos. That's not a good thing. I would like to remind you all that Keemstar baited, I think his name was Akita. He was a gaming YouTuber. Keemstar baited someone into suicide. Keemstar has been shown to be a pedophile in the past. Keemstar is a piece of human garbage who is regularly racist, transphobic, and more. Keemstar has doxed people. Keemstar is an actual low-down piece of garbage, and aspiring to be someone like Keemstar really shows the kind of person that you are. It really shows how little you actually care about people, because that's what Keemstar's brand is. Keemstar doesn't care about people. Keemstar cares about views. He cares about money. He cares about misinformation. So that was an ending to the Jason saga that I didn't expect. Sorry, in between sections, I've had to take a few moments to compose myself. The anger that I feel is unmatched, but we are almost done with this video. We have only one more section to truly get through, and by the end of it, hopefully I will not only feel better, but this entire thing will go away. We finally made it. The reason this whole shit rolled downhill, the main man himself. I've briefly discussed Tomie spread throughout this document, and anything you need to know about the Google Doc he made and the lies it tells, I've covered in that video. No, instead for this final section, we are going to cover Tomie's main character syndrome, his history of narcissism, chronic lying, and backstabbing the people he calls friends. I'll start off simple. Tomie did not make the doc out of genuine concern, as he says. Testimonies from people who were close to him once, and I know they were because one of them was a regular person who appeared on Tomie's channel, informed me of how Tomie never really liked me to begin with, constantly sharing my Twitter feed with others calling me weird and gross. He admitted that he felt like he had to interact with me because I was in the circle with Bran and Bennett, which is ridiculous because I only ever interacted with Tomie a handful of times, and most of the time it was he who initiated the contact. This is going to be harsh, but it is the truth. You were never important to me, Tomie. You were never on my mind at any given time. You were never someone I considered friend. You were merely another content creator making the same kind of content I did, until you went off the fucking deep end and started making drama videos. The turning point for you, as far as I can tell from testimonies and your own fan base, is when I released this video going over Lara Croft PTB, and in the beginning of it, I say this. PTB is out and Lara Croft is our new survivor. Thank you to everybody who couldn't help themselves but plastering that shit all over Twitter and in your YouTube thumbnails and all that other crap. I really don't appreciate that, and I think you're a piece of shit for fucking having just no regard and respect for other people. But it is what it is. 5 days later, Tomie releases a video called My First DBD Drama, where he says this.
With that also being said, a popular creator who I know, but I'm not going to mention the name of because of how serious the stuff that's going on is, had some very choice words to say about me leaking these things. They were calling me names. They were, like, shit-talking me, putting me down and stuff like that, and obviously that's a terrible thing to do, but they think it's fine because they didn't mention my name. All I've got to say about that is that I'm going to be distancing myself from the creator going on. That isn't even because of what you expect, which is me getting bullied and crying in my room. No, it's because this creator has several serious allegations that have been made against them. I've been speaking to a lot of the people who have made allegations, and I'm currently awaiting proof so that I can actually do something about it. But currently, as we speak, there is no proof, essentially. It is just allegations. There is some dodgy stuff that would be going on in this content creator's Discord server, but as I said on Twitter, being weird isn't a crime, sadly. If I see that anybody is like in remote danger, I will immediately drop the video, I'll report everything, and I will let you know who that person is.
It's very apparent he's talking about me here, as he talks about serious allegations and wanting to go on proof that he never actually got, but made the fucking document anyway. I mentioned this briefly in one of my videos on Tomie doxing me, but I did not even have Tomie in my mind when I made that comment. The reason being is because Tomie is not, and never has been, that important to me. I saw several creators pull that shit, and that's why it pissed me off, because it is disrespectful. Showing leaks where people can't avoid them is scummy, and ruins a lot of people's fun for no reason other than your desperation for clicks. This was the first time I was tipped off to Tomie's main character syndrome. He took a statement meant for many and applied it to himself before declaring how he would be distancing himself from me, as if we were ever close to begin with. I don't even think I followed him back on Twitter, although I can't be sure of that. I might be wrong. I also feel like it's important to mention here, as I was rewatching this video while I was editing, I had to find the exact portion that I needed, and I was listening to it, and Tomie's main character syndrome pretty much shines through the entirety of this video. He takes responsibility for leakers on Twitter getting hate for leaking the Lara Croft chapter, and he just really thinks really highly of himself. Like, I have never seen somebody so convinced that they are the center of everyone else's universe before. And the more I look into the things he said and done, and the more I watch his videos back, the more I realize just how crazy this is. Recently, somebody showcased a screenshot while I was editing this that Tomie is going to delete his YouTube. With that in mind, I am for sure going to be putting this particular video, the My First DBD Drama, in the Google Drive that I mentioned earlier, so that people have access to it in the future. Holy crap. Tomie, for some reason, had inserted himself into being of my inner circle, a group of content creators I was close with, but in reality, he was barely on the radar. And that must have hurt when the person you thought was your friend insulted you. But not really. You didn't think us friends, Tomie. You thought me weird and gross, which is fine. I don't care. If you don't like my content, you simply have to unfollow and move on. And I won't bother you if you don't bother me. Contrary to what some content creators do, I don't go chasing people all over the continent trying to desperately get their follow and their likes and their support. I ask if people want to support me that they do so, and I let people know how better to support me should they want to, but never once have I ever asked people to feel pressured into supporting me. Never once have I ever stated that supporting me was some sort of requirement to be on my good side. If you don't support my content, then that's because you don't like it. I don't begrudge you for not supporting my content. I don't begrudge you for not liking my content. That is completely and utterly up to you as a person. And I have found on multiple occasions that I can be friends with people who simply don't enjoy the things that I do. Back when I was an Apex creator, I had multiple people in real life from my work who said they wouldn't follow me because they don't like Apex Legends. And I was like, that's fine. You don't have to. And we were still friends. I still went out for beers with them. We still went to karaoke together. We still talked about Dungeons and Dragons and things that happened at work and things in our personal lives. I can be friends with people who don't like my content. I don't begrudge anyone who doesn't. Saying that you felt responsible to interact with me or that you had to do so is just disingenuous for the point of being disingenuous. But you took it a step further. You tried to push lies and false statements as facts. You forced me to once again face disproven allegations as you rambled on in your document about unverified claims and a lack of evidence. You still chose to post it. You still went through with it. One of the worst cases of investigative journalism I've ever seen. I would come to learn that Tomie hates the people he calls friends. A falling out with his old podcast co-host involved a simple spat about whether or not a team Tomie was facing was a SWIF. The argument, according to the person, exploded out of control, and while the co-host went on to regain his cool for a couple of days and relax, Tomie went off the deep end, making a video about how he wanted his friends to have empathy at his anger, which, if I remember correctly, he submitted to Brands React Tuesdays, probably seeking validation, no doubt. He continued to pester his co-host and supposed friend, disrespecting the boundaries laid out, and finally released a video about how his co-host had left the podcast. However, that was not what was discussed between them. Once again, Tomie takes something too personally and makes everything about himself. He disregards the feelings of others and forces himself upon them. Tomie creates unsafe spaces for people where they feel they must respect him and his temper, else they get cut from his life, and his co-host drifted away by the sheer force of Tomie's cruelty. Stories from the co-host partner inform me of how the three of them met in a friend of mine's Discord where they would hang out in VC. Within the VC, Tomie allegedly began raising a fuss about Brand's pronouns, making a big deal out of he, they. Tomie would then refer to Jane is Live, the trans DPD creator, as a lol cow of DBD, and when the owner of the server attempted to shut that shit down and change to a more lighthearted topic, Tomie lied to people that the owner cut ties with him, but it was actually Tomie who did it. Again, when confronted with the boundaries of his supposed friends, Tomie disregards them and responds with anger and apathy, or what I like to call the take my ball and go home method. Tomie acts like a child when confronted with his own negative actions, which is why when I called him out for threatening to dox me, he responded with posting my information publicly for all to see without a second thought, and said that he would be giving my information to multiple people before posting a random Twitter message as if it proved a goddamn thing. Finally, let's talk about Tomie's chronic lying, hypocrisy, and bias. Shortly after the document incident, one of my viewers, against my advice, went to speak with Tomie about it. Throughout, he would discover Tomie to be dishonest, admitting to having a bias against me, meaning no amount of hard evidence would change his mind. He would also question my character, stating that I would not ban someone who harassed Blair even with proof, and when proof was provided, I did ban, and he had no response. Into the conversation, Tomie does something interesting, however. If you join my server, there is no NSFW. But a mere 5 messages later, he states, but I'm saying there is an NSFW chat, I just verify age before people can access it. showing he is either a chronic liar or has short-term memory loss. On the flip side, however, if his server does contain an NSFW channel, then he is also a hypocrite, lambasting me for having one as I am supposed to be a gaming content creator, and yet has one himself as someone who makes content around games. I should also point out, like I did with Jason, that Tomie has made no attempt to create a doc around any other adult content creator. He has held no one else to the scrutiny he has me. As we have already shown, it is because he has a predisposition to not liking me. While Tomie has covered documents made by other people and has covered other drama, which is more than I can say for Jason, the point still stands that Tomie has not held a single other creator to the impossible standards that he has held me. He has not gone after other creators about the things that they post on their public Twitters, and he has therefore become an active hypocrite, meaning that he only wants me taken down and nothing else. To cap this off, I want to leave you with this. Tomie is a deranged and disturbed individual, lashing out at everyone who does not shower him with praise, falsifying narratives and making passive-aggressive videos that do not tell the real story. He cares not for evidence or even the truth, only to hurt as many people as he can. His co-host left me with this message. Tomie and I once had a discussion talking about theoretically if one of us got canceled, it wouldn't impact our personal lives because we were just random people on the internet, saying how if we ever got canceled, we wouldn't lose our jobs, homes, families, etc. I kind of said it in a half-assed way, like I have nothing to lose from social media because my life is complete. I live with my romantic partner, have friends and family who love me, a job I enjoy, and hobbies I enjoy. But he came at it from the angle of, yeah, if I did said something horrible, I wouldn't lose my job or home, so I don't care. Because of that conversation and the stuff going on with you between both the document and the doxing, it makes me believe he has this attitude of nothing can hurt me, nothing can stop me, and if he's going to go down, he doesn't care as long as he takes someone down with him. This is obviously more than getting canceled on Twitter, but I feel like he's approaching it with the same mentality by saying things like, the law won't get involved, you're wasting your time. Almost like he's gaslighting himself. I feel like that conversation is very important to understand his mentality on the whole situation. So, editor, research, Kaiser here, don't know which one, but I was going through the statements of some of the people who had come to me about Tomie, and I realized that one of the things that was given to me that I might have slightly overlooked was a discussion between Tomie and the partner of the co-host, where he talks about how he went to Blair after the original allegations video dropped. And he said, I did contact the person asking for proof, but they couldn't show me any. Then accused me of defending Kaiser, blocked me, and made a bunch of racist and homophobic tweets. He would then go on to say, although all that stuff is terrible, I think perhaps they had some merit on Kaiser. If they didn't, the channel wouldn't have been removed. Once again, showing that complete lack of Occam's razor and just making assertions without, like, any understanding. Remember, when the original allegations dropped, as far as I knew, Tomie and I were still on speaking terms, I guess, and he had never been blocked. So he could have came to me at any point whenever the original allegations video dropped, and he never did. Not one time in anything has Tomie ever approached me personally of anything that has been levied at me. But the final one is what really gets me. He says, yeah, they were nuts, but they might be onto something. This also speaks to Tomie's character. He hates me so much. He wants to ruin me so much that he admits that Blair is an unhinged individual. He even admits in the Google Doc that there were a lot of obvious lies that were put out there by Blair, and yet he still ran with it. He still did it. Tomie admits that there is no proof of any of the allegations, only speculation. And yet he continues to perpetuate them because that's all he cares about. All he cares about is levying allegations at me. He doesn't care if they're real. He doesn't care if they're true. He only cares that they get levied at me. Hello, everybody. Editor Kaiser here. with probably the biggest update to this entire situation we could have possibly had. Right as I'm editing the video, I'm almost done with the Jason section. I received these group of screenshots from Tomie's Twitter, and I wanted to go through them real quick so that we could talk about what they say. Now, obviously I don't have a script written out for this, but yeah, I think this is very important. We should definitely go over this, because if Tomie truly is leaving, if he truly is getting out, then perhaps this is great that the world has a safer place. However, I still feel like this video is important to make and finish, so that by the end of this, hopefully I will never see not only Tomie, but none of these people ever again. So, Tomie first tweets out, "It's almost laughable how I can provide proof of several things, yet somehow when someone makes a statement about me with no proof of anything, they are believed." Obviously, Tomie is referring to me here. As you will see with the Google Doc video, Tomie doesn't show proof of jack diddly dog shit. The only thing he shows proof of is that I'm horny on main, which, again, you know, if that's a crime, fucking lock me up, I guess. But he doesn't show proof of anything. In fact, he regularly admits throughout several interactions with people, including in the document himself, that he has no evidence for anything. But the thing is, Tomie, I did show proof that you doxed me. In fact, we have the tweet where you posted my private Facebook profile for the world to see and for people to just go out and find. So, yes, I do have proof. The proof is actually actively in your words, where you stated you were going to hand my information to people.
And I am currently trying to find any fucking American who is willing to record themselves calling the restaurant and actually finding out if this is the case. Now, I do know where you work, and I am actually looking into it, and I am going to have someone phone the place that you used to work at the end of the week.
So they can call my former place of employment to inquire about why I no longer work there. You said it with your own words. Like, what other... like, what? Quite frankly, y'all are a joke. No. I tell jokes. I'm researching this case and then I'm outie. You're still... imagine still not giving up. Like, imagine being threatened with, not threatened with legal action. I have given the fucking detectives your information. And by the way, just because you're claiming that you're going to delete everything and quit, it doesn't mean I won't stop pursuing legal action. The moment that my mother got harassed because of your actions, that was the moment. And not only that, the moment my mother got harassed for your actions, I was in this for the long haul. I am going to pursue this until the detectives tell me there is nothing more that they can do. I will literally stick with this for as long as it takes to make sure you get justice for what you have done. And I am doubling down the fact because my granny also got involved. This is not going to stop. The legal pursuit is not going to stop. Because fuck you. You did not just stop with me, which would have been one thing. It's one thing to stop with me, but your actions caused harm to the people I love. And I'm going to tell you this, Tomie, I don't have deep connections in this world. I'm going to tell this to everyone. My mother and my granny are the two most important people in my life. The most important. And in fact, they are the only extra important people in my life. I have friends that I care about, friends that I love. But if something happens to either my mother or my granny, it will destroy me for a long time because they're the only family I have left. So do not even begin to fucking think that I'm not going to pursue legal action against you. You fucked up big time. You messed with my family. Anyway, says you win. Good. Then he says, I have an actual live to live. I think you mean life. Hell, yesterday I was tackling DBD drama on my break. That's your fault. Like, what does that even mean? You were on your break, bro. You could have been doing anything. You're acting like it's like, oh, I'm so dedicated to the content that I was tackling DBD drama on my break because it takes a lot of energy to read a good. Listen, bro. As somebody who made a video on a Google Doc that was made about a groomer and stuff, I made 3 videos concerning the DBD competitive. The third one's gonna come out next week. Okay, it's not that hard to sit down and read shit. Okay, like it really isn't. Anyway, so yeah, I tap out. This whole situation got massively out of hand and further expanded. Really? Really, Tomie? You think? You fucking think? You think maybe it did? You think maybe saying that you were going to share someone's private information with other people and put their lives in danger might have been out of hand? Nobody is afraid for their life. No private information was released. Yes, it was. It literally was when you posted my fucking Facebook profile. Remember in the beginning of this video where I said that these people are delusional? Where I said that these people are at the very least they are not working in reality? This is what I meant. This is what I was referring to. At the end of the day, these people truly believe they did nothing wrong. Tomie truly believes, truly, from the bottom of his heart believes that he did nothing wrong. And that is a scary thought. That is a terrifying thought. And I'm never being friends with one of you snaky ass content creators again. My advice for new creators: just put up with the bullshit. If you see something weird, do nothing about it, because if you attempt to speak out about these things, you will just end up wasting your free time and eventually get chased with pitchforks. Believe what you want to believe, but quite frankly, at the end of the day, I don't give a shit. I was never going down until I publicly exposed someone for harassing a minor. Except I didn't harass a minor. I responded to allegations, and then that's it. That's the crazy thing, right? Because I didn't continue to converse with Blair, even as I would see them continuing to tweet, by no will of my own, by the way. I had to block several people who would spam me with tweets from Blair, and it was incredibly frustrating to deal with, I can tell you that. I did not pursue it. I didn't respond to anything she said, and in fact, within the Jason section, many of the tweets that popped up were ones that I didn't even know existed because I didn't care after that. I literally just wanted to prove that Blair was a pathological liar, and therefore her claims of nudes in the server did not hold any weight. On top of that, I also adamantly said, do not harass people. And I've been very, very consistent about this, including, as you know, Tomie, because you were sent the proof, I banned someone who you showed harassed Blair. I banned someone, not just anybody, by the way. It was someone who was giving me a lot of money. I know that seems weird to say, but I want you to think about that. Like, if anyone would ever be quote unquote exempt from my harassment rule, if I was a piece of shit human being, that is, it would be people who give me money. But I stand on my morals. I stand for what I believe in. And what I believe in is you should not fucking harass people. Which, to my surprise, resulted in me getting harassed. No. What resulted in you getting harassed was you threatened to dox me, and then you actually doxed me. It wasn't about standing up for a minor. It wasn't about exposing someone who harasses minors. It was you literally saying you were going to give my personal information out, followed by you giving my personal information out. Do you understand, chat? I'm not streaming this. Do you understand, guys? Do you understand the kind of person Tomie is? I mean, by the time you're seeing this, I will have done the entire Tomie section. This is like a final wrap-up, basically, that comes as I'm editing. But you understand this is who he is. Even with the evidence staring him dead in the face, even with everybody being able to blatantly see who he is, he still is pretending like things happen in a way that they didn't. When I showed the testimonies for the co-host and the co-host partner, the one thing that I was wary of is that I didn't really have a lot of evidence to what Tomie had done, as most of it had happened in a voice chat. But now you can see with the way Tomie is handling this particular situation, where he is consistently pretending as if nothing has happened, as if he's done no wrong, as if he didn't dox me,
While we have the evidence of him doxing me, we have the screenshots that show him doxing me, we have the aftermath of him doxing me, we have him in his own words saying he's going to dox me, and yet he continues to pretend like this is still about the fucking Google Doc. Everyone just believes everything, so I'm just going to go live my life with my real job, my real friends, and my real family. Good. And I advise you chronically online white knights do the same. Ironic, honestly, that you would call anyone a white knight. Last statement says, I'm deleting Twitter. Very easy thing to do. Whatever happens now is out of my control. So next time a minor gets into a situation where there isn't a single content creator out there who will help them, I have done many things I'm proud of with my time on YouTube. That's a sad thought. That's a really sad thought. You know why that's a sad thought? Because recently, as of like your last, I want to say like 8 videos or so, it's just been sad. Like some stuff was not bad, actually. I will admit that your, what's the word I'm looking for? Your look into Bean, your research into Bean and what they did, was not badly done. It wasn't badly done. It was actually incredibly well presented. The only thing I really had a problem with was you brought my name into it, which kind of fucking pissed me off. But, you know, outside of that, you also upheld Bean's other ex, Josh, who I have communicated with a couple of times, as we kind of share a bond as abused exes of Bean. And I was really proud of you for that. But outside of that, bro, you make countless videos that are just passive-aggressive nonsense, lying about situations that didn't happen, that people can actually prove didn't happen the way you say, and just more. He says, and quite frankly, I would do them all again. Again, just sad. The lack of people protecting vulnerable users is shameful. There is no lack of people protecting vulnerable users. When the NoSila situation dropped and the minors were being groomed and there were several Dead by Daylight competitive players blaming the minors, most of us came together, if not all of us, came together to call the situation out. I made a video on the subject, as did many others. Twitter was a blossom with people calling out people like fucking Savannah GX and Wispy for blaming the minors in that situation. You see, when you have people who are actually in danger, when you have minors actually being abused and you have the proof that they're being abused, people will stand against the abusers. But again, you don't care about any of that when it comes to me. You don't care about proof. You only cared about hurting me. When I got into the DBD YouTube sphere, it almost felt like an episode of The Boys because of how creepy everyone was. No one was truthful and it was all two-faced. What does this even mean? Right? Because you would think that there would be some sort of history of him talking about this. Because in my mind, when someone does something you don't like, you either put it on Twitter or if you're a YouTuber, you might make a video about it. But realistically speaking, I've never heard him talk about two-faced people before this. I know why he's bringing it up, because he's referring to his co-hosts and their partner. Because he has probably several people. I don't know if it's several people, but he does have people in my Discord server currently watching what's being said about him, which I'm not going to say he sent those people over there, because I have members of my community who have gone into his Discord server to be there, and I didn't ask them to do that. I didn't want them to do that. They just did it of their own volition. So I'm not going to accuse Tomie of doing something that I personally didn't do, because as content creators, I have learned that while we might condemn things, or why we might say don't do things, there are certain people who will just do what they fucking want, and there's only so much we can do about it. Finally, he says, so with that message, I leave you with one last funny joke. I will never apologize for protecting minors. And no one's asking you to. Literally, no one's asking you to apologize for protecting minors. But once again, you twist this situation. You completely and utterly shift the situation to try to make it seem like something it's not, which is what you did through most of the Google Doc. You twist reality in order to try and create a narrative that you are the hero in this situation.
Finally, there seems to be a exchange from him between him and someone named Big White Dude from JJK. Hilarious name. Says, except private info was released and people were afraid. Thank God you're leaving. Can safely say no one will miss you. Tomie says, public information. I said, so is your full name, yet I don't see anyone spreading that around maliciously. I don't think I've ever been silent that my first name is JoJo or that my last name is Kaiser. However, that does not mean that you spend God knows how long searching for my public Facebook profile to then post to the world. And what's worse than that is we all know it wasn't just my first and last name. We all know, because you said it, that it was things like my address and my personal phone number and more. It wasn't just my first and last name. You didn't just go out there and say, hey, everyone, Kaiser's name is JoJo Kaiser. You went out there and you fucking released more information than was necessary. You showed people what my Facebook looked like. You gave people all the information they need. You allowed them to glean what they needed to find me, my family, and harass them. Just because my first and last name is known, it doesn't mean you get to fucking go out of your way to find additional information and spread it with malice. You didn't spread public information. You spread private information. You admitted to it. You admitted to giving people this information. You had to. I hope that Tomie does actually delete his Twitter. Maybe his YouTube. I don't know. I think at the end of the day, good riddance. Good riddance and goodbye. At the end of this, I am tired. I wondered if this video should ever be made. The Streisand effect and all that nonsense. Truth be told, if I could go back in time, I would never make a video on the original allegations. I'd have simply blocked her again, and in hopes that she would eventually quietly go away. And every time I believe the tide has died down and I can go back to peace and quiet, this nonsense rears its ugly head again. Another person in my DMs harassing me, another tweet, another fucking video with my name in it. It never seems to stop, but for me, it stops here. I have shown you today that the people behind all of this are a collection of pathological liars, egotists, ignorers of Occam's razor, and more. Proof in the facts that nothing levied at me holds any weight, and the only proof they have of any wrongdoing is that I'm sometimes horny on main. They are not trustworthy people, and I suppose I should be glad they found a home with each other, if only they would find their next target to suck the life out of, and leave me the hell alone. Breaking script, I wish to talk directly to all of you for a moment. I am frustrated. I am tired. Months and months of harassment, non-stop practically, on top of the problems that I had with my ex being by daylight, which I detailed originally in an unlisted video, which I will now make public and link in the description. Amongst everything that I've had to deal with, from false allegations to consistent harassment from people and more, I am now at the center of being doxxed, fully and honestly, by a untrusting, horrid individual who treats the people around him as trash and who has no concern for the truth or evidence, but rather just wants to make other people suffer, as is proven by his actions. Tomie endorses people, not only leaking my private information, but the private information of the people in my lives, such as my mother, my 70-year-old granny, people who I haven't spoken to in years, and more. Tomie endorses these actions. He wants me to be hurt. He wants the people in my life to be hurt. He's going to cause physical harm in any way he can, and he does not care about the consequences. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. As of this video going live, I will no longer be discussing the situation. I will post this video along with a link to the thread that I made on Twitter about Tomie with all the updates, all the videos that are pertinent to this information, and a Google Drive that contains the videos I've talked about in today's video. I'm just done. I'm done and I'm tired. I started content creation because I love the joy of entertaining. When I began to find success in content creation, I had hoped that I could foster an inclusive, fun community where people could go to get away from their problems. And instead, what I'm faced with is the people who hate me going above and beyond to destroy me. But I have facts and logic on my side, which is really cringe to say because it makes me sound like some sort of alt-right weirdo. But it's the truth. It's simply the truth. The lewd, age-restricted channel, whether you think it should have been there or not, was protected in the best way that Discord allows me to protect it. People ignoring those rules and going into it has nothing to do with me. People ignoring my public Twitter being 18 plus has nothing to do with me. If you cannot abide by the restrictions put in front of you, if you cannot follow the rules put in front of you, if you ignore the warnings and you see it anyway, that is your problem. There is a reason that things like TV shows, movies, books, and more have ratings. It's to tell you what's inside. It's the equivalent of a parent taking their child to an R-rated movie and then bitching about blood, gore, and tits. You went to the R-rated movie. You saw the warning. Yet for some reason in this situation, we just absolve responsibility, people's personal responsibility. I say for some reason, but I know why it is. It's to hurt me. But I'm done. I leave you with these final words. At the end of the day, you cannot help if people don't like you. Not everyone's going to. And that's okay. I'm okay with that, and you should be as well. And at the end of the day, you're not going to like everyone that somebody else likes. That's also okay. You don't have to. But what's not okay is falsifying rumors of serious allegations and releasing someone's private information to the internet in the hopes that they will get hurt. I love you all so much, and I will see you in the next one.